Hello and welcome back to another Crafter's Toolbox. This time let's take a look at how we can take some of our stencils and stamps and turn them into more detailed creations with colored pencil. Okay, so let's start with a pretty simple way to add in some colored pencils. So I've got my patchwork kite stencil, and in my sample you can see that I did this on some dark gray cardstock, but for this one I'm going to just do it on white. So I've got that stencil already done up using the Cool Summer Nights, and I use the sea glass, the lightest color. So I'm just coming back in with a colored pencil, and this happens to be a polychromo, but you can use any colored pencils that you have. They don't have to be expensive ones. And this is just kind of an indigo color, so an indigo blue. And I'm just going and grabbing the angles here and just doing a little bit of shading in. Not a whole lot, but you can see that it really starts to bring the stencil to life. It gives it some more depth and dimension and can really take your stencil to the next level. All right, so it's not hard to do. And then if I wanted to come back with some even darker, I can come back in with a black and just do a little bit, not a whole lot, in those areas that I've already shaded to kind of make a blue-black and really bring those to life. Of course, if you have more textured paper, you're going to see more of a texture like I did on this one. This is a much more smooth paper, so I see more of the lines, but it really does provide a lot of depth and dimension and makes your stencils come to life. For the second example, I'm using the Precious Blooms stamp set. Now this is a builder stamp set, and I've got that started here. You can see my finished product that is in gray, and I've got all sorts of detail going on here that you wouldn't really see if you just did the plain stamping. So I've started working on some of my extra shading, and again I'm going to use the dark blue and a black to create that. So I've got this one kind of where I want it, and I'm going to start working on this one here. So there's a couple of things that I'm going to do. First of all, I'm going to look for areas where there are 2 layers of petals. So the petals come around here in the inside. So I'm going to make this area here a little more dark so that the top layer pops a little bit more. All right, so that's pretty simple. You just come in and give it a little bit of shading using this dark blue, since I'm using blue ink for the flower. All right, and then I'm going to kind of move to an area of my pencil that's more sharp, or if I need to, I can resharpen my pencil and start adding just some little lines, and they just look like this. They're just little lines that I'm adding into the darker areas that have been stamped. So this darker area is stamped in dusk. So now I'm coming back with an even darker shade to give even more detail. Now, if this stamp set had even more detail to it, then I could get super detailed with this. But it has just the 2 layers, a background layer. So I've got a background layer, and then I have 1 detail layer. So using my colored pencils, I can add in even more detail to that detailed layer. So coming in and just getting some, and then where these 2 meet especially, get really dark in there and really help it look like this flower here is really behind the front flower. All right, so it's not hard to do. It doesn't take a whole lot of extra time. Just a few minutes to get some detail in there, and you can start to see that that flower is really coming to life. Now again, if you want to get even darker, you can add a little bit of black in there. I would not go crazy with the black, because really black isn't what you see in shadows. It's usually a duller, more muted shade of the color, of the original color, right? So we don't want to go crazy with the black. What you can do with the black is this kind of sketchy background, which makes this whole thing look like it's kind of a pencil design. So how did I do that? I start by taking my pencil here and then following that line all the way through to here. So that way I have a line that goes all the way through the flowers and it keeps everything continuous. So keeping that angle and just getting these lines in place. And if I happen to be off just a little bit, so I make the line a little thicker and I get it to come back on track. All right, so bring these in. And this is something that you can do as much or as little as you want to create the effect that you're looking for. And softer lines will help make it pop a little bit more. Sharper lines bring those to the forefront. All right. So now you have some really great ways that you can add colored pencils into your projects and create even more depth and detail with your stamps and stencils. If you enjoyed this Crafter's Toolbox, don't forget the subscribe button and click on the bell so you'll get notified of updates when I have new videos and when I go live. Thanks so much for stopping by today. Until next time, happy crafting.